Hi everybody, it's Big R again. 我现在再来跟你们讲说，我今年的 Fantasy Sleepers 跟 Bus，我觉得是谁？There are a few players，我觉得是 you can take in the later rounds，就是你可以晚一点点选，然后他们应该今年will have a very good year. And the bust or the ones 我觉得你应该 stay away from，因为 they will not have a good year or 他们会被 drafted way too high，然后他应该被 drafted a lot lower. So 我的 first sleeper 我来讲的是有两个芝加哥的球员，芝加哥公牛的球员。我觉得第一个就是 Kobe White。It's a young point guard，然后他其实 the last few games of the last season in the bubble or before the bubble，他那时候在 average about like 15 points and like 8 assists a game。那他今年我觉得为什么会比较好，是因为他新的教练是 Billy Donovan。那你看 Billy Donovan 的 track record with point guards，Billy Donovan 那时候 made Westbrook an MVP。那 last year 大家都知道 Billy Donovan 把 OKC， 然后 Chris Paul they went all the way to the Game 7 against Houston。And 然后去年的 Chris Paul was it looked like his best season， 他的最好的赛季 in like 4 or 5 years。所以 Billy Donovan 其实跟point guards 很像很有缘，所以 I would take a gamble on Kobe White， 尤其是你可以差不多 draft him in 我觉得 like the 5th or 6th round， 那你可以 or maybe 4th or 5th round， 那 later rounds you know more value for your pick. Also to that point， 我觉得公牛有另外一个人，就是他们的大前锋跟 center 叫 Lowry Markelle。Why is Lowry Markelle a sleeper？ 因为他去年he didn't get to play as much，and 我觉得 system wise 的话，我觉得 Billy Donovan system is perfect for him。然后你看到 he's one of the better shooters on the team， 他也会 grab rebounds， so go to the free throw line。然后我觉得他今年，因为他也才23、24。He could take a big step up. 他可以开始 average 20 and 10 a night. 我觉得20 10 a night for him is not hard. 尤其是 Chicago needs 芝加哥 needs somebody to score. I think Kobe White and Lowry Markelle are the answers. 我觉得 you can take them in the later rounds， 因为我觉得他们应该是前3轮不会被选的球员。So 如果你要 good value 的话，就是 look later on in the draft. You look at like Kobe White or you look at Lowry Markelle。So I'm thinking， 因为去年你看 Markelle 最后几赛 ，Boylen didn't want to use him， 他只打超过24分钟。因为他们也有 Wendell Carter Jr.， 可是呢，我觉得今年因为 new coach new system， 我觉得 Kobe White and Lowry Markelle they can do a lot of pick and rolls， they can get each other involved in the game。我觉得这两个球员 will have a very big step up。Because also the coach in the system. I mean， 你就看去年像 like I said, Chris Paul and even Steven Adams. Like Donovan is very good at making players, getting more out of players than some other coaches. 我觉得 Donovan 其实是一个很好的教练。那我觉得他跟 OKC 我真的不知道为什么 he left. Maybe because OKC 要重新开始 and 他不想要 start a rebuilding project。可是芝加哥也是 ，but 芝加哥 has some young good pieces like Kobe White, Lowry Markelle。另外一个 sleeper 就是 Washington Wizards 的 Thomas Bryant。那 Thomas Bryant 去年呢是13，他就平均 average 13分7个篮板。然后呢，他去年也有一点受伤。他在 bubble 的时候，他其实把他每个 average 都往上。他在 bubble 的时候将近快得19分一场，然后差不多9个篮板跟2个火锅。我知道那只是几场，可是呢，他看起来是越来越 he's getting a lot better， 就是每一次他都会 improve， 然后他其实还是很年轻。那现在有 Westbrook 跟 Beal，but 他们的 big man 就是只有他，因为 Roy Hachimura plays small forward. They also so I believe that 今年 Thomas Bryant is their focal center. David Bertans plays power forward. 那如果 Thomas he'll get a lot of boards， 因为大家也知道 Westbrook is not a good shooter, so he's a good rebounder. 那他也还年轻，所以我觉得 he's somebody you can look at in like the later rounds, like 可能第8或第9，他应该不会那么的早就会被 pick up， 因为其实很少的人知道 Thomas Bryant 是谁。那我觉得 he is somebody people can look at way later, you know， 就是when 人家开始在 draft 他们的 substitute player 的时候，就 bench players 的时候 ，look at Thomas Bryant， 因为 he got much better in the bubble, and if he continues his upswing, then 我觉得他可能20 and 10对他来讲也不会说很难 ，but he will get you a lot of rebounds and he will get you a lot of blocks. So 我觉得那也是一个很好的 sleeper。另外一个，最后一个，我觉得一个很大的一个 一个 sleeper 是 Markelle Fultz。人家会觉得说 why is Markelle Fultz a sleeper？ 就是他 he already played like last year he was pretty good， 我觉得大家 in the first 5 to 6 rounds 不会想说 Markelle Fultz。那为什么选 Markelle Fultz？ Every year he got much better。去年的最后的15场，他平均15分、6个助攻、1个 steal， 然后他通常的 draft range 就是说人家选他是差不多100 ，like pick number 100。那你打12个 team 的话 ，that's like 第8轮。那第8轮你可以选到一个球员有15分、6个助攻、1个 steal， 其实真的是蛮不错的。所以尤其是他在 Orlando 其实只有 Vucevic， 那 Vucevic 跟他 he will only get better。我觉得大家都会忘了，就是说 Markelle Fultz coming out of college。He was the number 1 player in the country. 他是全美国那时候 number 1 high school player when he went to college. But then 他也是第一个选秀，他就是受伤。那他受伤，他第1年没打，第2年打 OK， 然后去年 he took a step up in his game。那我觉得他今年 he's going to improve more. He can only I believe he can only get better. So I believe that Markelle Fultz is somebody that people should look at, especially when he's getting drafted in the 100. Like 人家我觉得很多人会想象说Michael Porter Jr.， 因为他也是以前美国高中 number 1 player going into college， 他也是受伤。然后去年大家看到季后赛跟 bubble 的时候 ，Michael Porter Jr. 打得非常好。那我觉得 Michael Porter Jr. 可能是大家会觉得说 top 50 pick， 就是说可以在前50名就选他，因为他去年季后赛大家都 remember how good he was， 他就是那个第3个球员。They had Jamal Murray、Jokic and the third best player on that team was Michael Porter Jr. 那我觉得很多人会 overvalue Michael Porter Jr. 他可能会是第3轮、第4轮。可是我觉得 Markelle Fultz 跟 Michael Porter Jr. 其实差不多。那现在他的 average 就是 draft range 是 pick number 100。所以我觉得你到他会第7轮啊，或者第8轮开始的时候 ，you can take a look at Markelle Fultz because he will get a lot of playing time. He's a starting point guard, and I think he will be a very, very good player that people are overlooking. 那讲到 sleepers， 我现在想讲到，我觉得几个人今年可能会是 bust 就是说可能会被选得太高，然后其实他们的那个选位他没有打到那个的。就是说 they don't play up to their potential。 当然第一个 draft bust 大家想的是我想的是 James Harden， 因为人家会 take him number 1 number 2， 可是他也不想要 he doesn't want to be in Houston， 他不想要在那边。他连 preseason 他都还没 show up， 他都还没去 training camp， 他应该是完全不会打 preseason game。然后他可能会慢慢的 get back into the game， 然后 what if 如果他真的要被 traded， 然后开始 like having an attitude， don't want to stay on the team， 他有可能会 sit out games， 他有可能会 demand a trade， 因为对他来讲钱不是问题，所以如果他 sit out games， 对他来讲只有影响的是钱。那 maybe 如果他真的 want out so bad， Harden might do some things that was not good for fantasy owners。我没有在讲说 Harden is not a good player. I'm just saying Harden might be a bust in fantasy because 他有可能不会打72场，然后他有可能会被 traded. So nobody knows, and he wants out. He doesn't want to be there. Houston 也不想要 trade 他 so nobody knows what's going on there. So the one player I advise people to stay away from is Harden because you don't know what's going to happen. Another draft bust I think is Kyrie Irving. 我觉得 Kyrie Irving 今年大家很多人在选他的 top 3 rounds 或 top 2 rounds， 因为Kyrie's back with Durant， 大家会觉得说Irving's back, you gotta draft Irving early. He is a very, very good player, but 他对 fantasy 其实来讲没有说是很好，他通常是差不多 about he'll be in the first or second round pick, but the problem is Kyrie 这3-4季 he's never played more than he averages like 50 some games a year。 那个意思就是说他一年通常80场，他只打50几场。So about 1/3 of the season, more than 1/3, more than 1/3 of the season, he could be injured, he could be on the bench. You never know what's going to happen. 尤其是今年 with COVID, traveling, nobody knows if Kyrie will play all 72 games. And also 现在有 Durant's going to take most of the shots. I think Kyrie is getting drafted a little bit too high for his stock. Like 如果你要 draft Kyrie in the 3rd or 4th round, 4th or 5th round, good value. But a lot of people are taking Kyrie 1st and 2nd. But I don't think Kyrie is deserved of a 1st and 2nd pick. 他这3-4年 he hasn't played like he deserves to be a top pick. So I think Kyrie, in the first 3 rounds, stay away from Kyrie Irving. You know, he played 20 games last season. He averaged 27 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and he played well. But he'd also be sharing, 他今年他也有 Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, Joe Harris. You know, he has Kevin Durant, and health. Health is a problem. So we don't know how he's going to play this year. So I would stay away from Irving because I think he might be a bust this year too. Another bust who a lot of people will take a little bit too high, 现在被 drafted around the 39th overall, is about the 3rd round, is Kyle Lowry. 我觉得 Kyle Lowry is a good player. Kyle Lowry used to be a much better player. 可是他现在 Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet just re-signed a contract. Siakam is getting better and better. Fred VanVleet last year 就17分6个 assists and only turned over 2 times a game. Lowry averaged 19分7 assists， 可是他 turnover 3次 per game， 所以那2个的球员 VanVleet 跟 Lowry 其实他们的 stats is about the same。那 Lowry's getting picked much higher than VanVleet， 就是 Lowry 的选的位置比 VanVleet 高很多，可是他们2个其实差不多，他们的 stats 其实差不多，所以我觉得很多人 will overrate Kyle Lowry and overlooked Fred VanVleet， 尤其是 VanVleet 现在今年的 average is around being picked like 50到60中间 they say like 51. So that means Kyle Lowry is getting picked about 10 to 15, like 15 picks higher than Lowry. But does that mean that Lowry's that much of a better player? I don't think so. So I think if you're going to wait on a Toronto player, maybe take VanVleet later on and don't stick with Lowry. I know a lot of people always go with, you know, 以前打得很好的人, but Lowry might not have a great year. Another player who I think will be a bust that everybody seems to really like is John Collins. 就是 Atlanta 的那个大前锋跟中锋的 John Collins. 那我觉得很多人都把他现在的 average draft positions in between 20到30，可是他也有 Harden 的问题，就是说 I think Atlanta 想要 trade 他 ，Atlanta realizes that they want to make the playoffs now. 所以为什么 Atlanta went out and they signed Gallinari? They went out and signed Rondo. They went out and signed Chris Dunn. They went out to sign Bogdanovich. So I don't even know. And Clint Capella is also coming back. 所以我觉得 John Collins 可能连先发都不会先发。And if he does, if Gallinari plays the 3, Gallinari can always play the 4. So we don't know what's going to happen with John Collins. I think he's being drafted way too high. Atlanta added a lot in the offseason. Atlanta 我觉得是东部可能最进步的队。他们加了一个 Rondo to come off the bench. Trae Young will start. Bogdanovich should start. Gallinari. I'm guessing they're saying Collins could start at the 4. Collins 可以先发 power forward. But Clint Capella is back this year too. Like 人家都会忘了，其实 Capella 完全没有帮 Atlanta 打过。他被 traded 之后，他就受伤了。可是今年 after coming off injury, Capella's going to be that big man. So 去年是没有 Capella， 所以为什么 John Collins 去年篮板这么多，然后 played very well. But now that you get Clint Capella back, who, by the way, is a very, very good big man, Collins' numbers might overall go down. We never know, but I think he's getting drafted a little bit too high. Another player that has been drafted around the top 40, 然后大家要小心一点的是 Mitchell Robinson 的纽约 Knicks 的 center. 人家可能会说，可是纽约 you know, they suck. They don't have anybody. So Mitchell Robinson is probably their best young star, which 我懂. But if you look at it, last year, 他 career numbers 是8分, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks. 那他 field goal percentage 是蛮高的。可是他去年只打23分钟一场，然后Tom Thibodeau 就是纽约新的教练，他是比较喜欢打 veterans， 然后 young players don't usually get to play a lot because Tom Thibodeau 是一种比较 win now 的 coach， 不是说 let's build something for the future, which I thought was a very weird hire， 因为 I'm a huge Knicks fan， 所以我觉得 Tom Thibodeau 他是一个大名字的教练 but is he good for the Knicks who are trying to rebuild something from young? I don't think so. So I believe that Nerlens Noel, 他们也刚刚free agent Nerlens Noel. I think Nerlens Noel will eat into Mitchell Robinson's minutes, and Robinson also fouls out a lot. 他通常会 foul 很多，所以他去年其实 fouled out in 7 games at least. So, and 他至少有4 fouls in 25 of the 61 games that he played. So in that draft range, 就是说那个差不多40的 picks range, I think you can look at Aldridge or Nurkic on Portland, who's coming back. I think they will play better. They'll score more. They'll grab around the same amount of rebounds, and they will probably also get more playing time. And they're both being selected usually after Robinson. So I believe that a lot of people are taking Robinson as a top 40 pick because they feel like 纽约其实没什么人，纽约有一个 RJ Barrett， 一个新的 Obi Toppin， 一个 Julius Randle， 那想说Mitchell Robinson 是他们的 best player. I understand that, but I think 他现在的 draft 的位置就是 it's way too high. He should be taken like 60s, 70s. 他还没 proven 他一个night可以15 points and 10 rebounds. The only thing that Mitchell Robinson does do very well is he will get you a lot of blocks. But I would stay clear of Mitchell Robinson for now. These are just some of my preseason sleepers and busts. As the season goes along, every week I'll try to provide one sleeper and one guy that you should drop, or maybe a few guys you should drop and some that you should pick up. So I'm really excited to get the season started. It starts in like 8 days, so let's see what happens, and it should be fun. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.